I will call to order the Labor and Commerce Committee. Please be seated. We will in just 1 second ask the clerk to open the roll. And the clerk shall open the roll so we can mark our attendance. And we have a quorum. Thank you. We have subcommittee reports. We're going to begin now in just 1 moment when we're all ready to start. Okay, we're going to go with subcommittee number 1, Chair Maldonado.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, we have 3 bills on this short docket. The first is SB 246, patroned by Senator Serval. There were some amendments that are mostly technical in nature, but also makes a clarification about community association declarations and condominium instruments. More generally, the bill provides for numerous revisions of the Virginia Non-Stock Corporation Act. Among other revisions, the bill authorizes certain actions to derive from its bylaws in addition to its articles of incorporation. And 2, it makes changes to the process of amending articles of incorporation and bylaws. 3, it authorizes inclusion of an exclusive forum provision in the bylaws. 4, permits transfer and membership interests. 5, authorizes members to bring derivative proceedings. 6, permits a court to remove a director in certain circumstances. 7, provides for abandonment of an amendment or restatement of the Articles of Incorporation. 8, extends the current provisions related to mergers to include interest exchanges and to provide for parent-subsidiary mergers. 9, replaces existing provisions on conversion with provisions based on the Virginia Stock Act. And 10, adds provisions governing charitable corporations and charitable assets, including the authority of the Office of the Attorney General with respect to such. The bill includes technical amendments, which I just mentioned, and has a delayed effective date of July 1, 2027. The subcommittee recommends reporting with amendments 9-0, and I so move.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded that we report this bill with amendments. Are there any questions from any member of the committee? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to open the roll. We can register our votes. And the clerk shall close the roll. Senate Bill 246, reports with amendments.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Next, we have SB 479, patroned by Senator Marsden. The amendments that were included and adopted were mostly technical in nature. SB 479 makes various changes to the Virginia Stock Corporation Act, many of which conform the Act to recent changes to the Model Business Corporation Act produced by the Corporate Laws Committee of the American Bar Association's Business Law Section. Among other things, the bill addresses the authority of a board of directors to delegate authority with respect to the issuance of shares to a committee of the board and one or more of the corporation's officers. It removes the requirement for the cessation of shareholder agreements when a corporation becomes a public corporation. It also requires a corporation to maintain in its records certain shareholder agreements and removes the requirement for a corporation to maintain its financial statements for the 3 most recent fiscal years. And finally, it authorizes a corporation to submit a matter to a vote of its shareholders, even if, after approving the matter, the board of directors determines it no longer recommends such matter. The subcommittee, this is similar to HB 316, patroned by Delegate Hope, which passed Labor and Commerce 22-0 and passed the House 98-0. The subcommittee recommends reporting with amendments on a vote of 9-0, and I so move.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded that we report this bill with amendments. Any questions from any member of the committee? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to open the roll so we could vote. And the clerk shall close the roll. Senate Bill 479, reports with amendments.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our final bill is SB 734, patroned by Senator Hackworth. This bill permits the State Corporation Commission, upon petition, to permit an individual to serve as an officer or on the board of directors of more than one financial institution if the commission finds that the financial institutions are not in competition with each other, or that one or both of the institutions might otherwise be denied capable management or direction from an individual residing in or employed in the locality served by the institution. Our committee recommends reporting 9-0, and I so move.
Been properly moved and seconded that we report Senate Bill 734. Any questions from any member of the committee? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to open the roll. No problem. And the clerk shall close the roll. Senate Bill 734 reports.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That concludes the subcommittee report for Subcommittee 1.
Oh, thank you so much. Is that your very last bill, Chair Maldonado?
It is indeed, Madam Chair.
It's the last one. Okay. Then we're going to move on to Subcommittee 3.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The incomparable Subcommittee 3 met last Thursday and took several actions. The first was to recommend continuing SB 339 to the 2027 session, which I so move.
Second. Been properly moved and seconded that we continue this Senate Bill 339 over to the 2027 session. That is a voice vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Senate Bill 339 is carried over to 2027 session. Chair Sullivan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Next is SB 249 from Senator Surville, which makes various changes related to the content and process for an integrated resource plan developed by an electric utility that provides a forecast of its own load obligations and a plan to meet those obligations. The bill requires the utility to provide stakeholders with reasonable access to the same modeling software that the utility uses, the same assumptions, modeling inputs, and data used by the utility to evaluate supply and demand resources in its IRP to enable stakeholders to create modeling scenarios for the utility's consideration during the development of its IRP. The bill requires the SEC to establish guidelines that ensure that utilities develop comprehensive IRPs and provide meaningful public engagement and maximum transparency during the process. It also requires that they conduct a proceeding by July 1, 2027, and at least once every 5 years thereafter, to identify and review each of its existing orders relevant to IRPs to determine if such orders remain necessary and effective and are not overly burdensome, and to convene a work group to make recommendations on those guidelines. The bill also requires the CEUR to convene a work group to develop recommendations regarding planning for grid stability and reliability and energy affordability between certain cooperatives and generation and transmission service providers, system owners, and wholesale power providers. This bill passed the Senate 21-18 and is similar to HB 429 from Delegate LaVere Bowling, which reported from this committee by a vote of 17-5 and passed the House 84-13. Madam Chair, the subcommittee conformed Senate Bill 249 to Delegate LaVere's HB 429, and we recommend reporting with that substitute by a vote of 8-1, and I so move.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded that we report this Senate Bill 249 with the substitute. Any questions from any member of the committee? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to open the roll. We will vote. And the clerk shall close the roll. Senate Bill 249 reports with substitute 19-2. Chair Sullivan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. SB 250 is also from Senator Surville. It would prevent a locality from prohibiting the use of a small portable solar generation device on a residential structure, provided that certain requirements are met. Under the bill, those requirements are a small portable solar generation device must include a device or feature that prevents the device from affecting the electrical system of a building during a power outage. It also includes provisions relating to the installation of small portable solar generation devices by tenants and prevents landlords from prohibiting such installation under certain circumstances. Under the bill, small portable solar generation devices are excluded from the provisions of net metering programs. It also permits any electric utility customer to own and operate a small portable solar generation device, provided that some other requirements are met. The bill prohibits an investor-owned utility or municipal utility or co-op from imposing interconnection requirements, charging any fee related to the device, or requiring that the customer obtain the utility's approval before installing or using the device. Under the bill, no utility, municipal utility, electric co-op can be liable for damage or injury caused by a small portable solar generation device. And the bill provides that such devices are considered goods for the purposes of the Virginia Consumer Protection Act. And finally, Madam Chair, the bill requires the SCC to develop and publish a notification form by September 1 of this year for electric service customers who install a small portable solar generation device. The bill passed the Senate 30-7 with one abstention. It is similar to HB 395 from Delegate Krizak, which reported from this committee by a vote of 22-0 and passed the House 97-1. There was a substitute, Madam Chair, which added 2 enactment clauses that require a stakeholder work group and delaying the effective date of the first enactment to January 1, 2027. There are a couple other differences, such as a clarification about rental units with ratio billing systems and requiring notice of installation to electric service providers. Madam Chair, the subcommittee recommended reporting with that substitute by a vote of 8-1, and I so move.
Second. Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded that we report this bill with substitute. Opportunity for any member of this committee to ask any questions. Then I'll ask the clerk to open the roll so we can vote. And the clerk shall close the rolls. Senate Bill 250, reports with substitute 20-1. Chair Sullivan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Next is SB 333 from Senator Hackworth. It directs the SCC to establish the Remediated Mine Gas Grant Program, which will assist taxpayers in the capture and sequestration of remediated mine gas. It directs the Commission to award grants for the program to taxpayers on a first-come, first-served basis, subject to appropriation by the General Assembly, and that grant recipients submit a report to the Commission by October 1 of any year in which the funds are made available. Finally, the bill directs the Commission to submit a standardized report of the information received from grant recipients to relevant committees of the General Assembly by January 1 of any year in which funds are made available under the program. The bill had passed the Senate by a vote of 39-0. There was a substitute, Madam Chair, which tasks the Department of Energy instead of the SCC with establishing the program and amends the definition of, quote, sequester or sequestration and includes some other changes to the award requirements and report. It also removes the second and third enactment clauses about report due dates. The subcommittee recommended reporting with that substitute by a vote of 9-0, and I so move.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded that we report with the substitute, Senate Bill 333. Any questions? Any member of the committee? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to open the roll. And the clerk shall close the roll. Senate Bill 333, reports 21-0, reports with substitute, 21-0. Chair Sullivan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. SB 371 is from Senator McPike, and it directs Dominion Energy and Appalachian Power to file a petition with the SCC by January 1 of next year for voluntary demand flexibility programs that apply to high energy demand customers. The bill requires the Commission to consider all forms of demand flexibility and other specific factors in approving each program. The bill directs each co-op that serves one or more high demand and high energy demand customers to establish a voluntary demand flexibility program for such customers by January 1, 2029. The bill also requires Dominion and Appalachian Power to file status reports on their demand flexibility programs with the Commission 3 years after initial program approval and every 3 years thereafter. Additionally, in 2028 and annually thereafter, the Commission is required to submit information summarizing the status and performance of such programs as part of an existing report. This bill passed the Senate 26-13. 371, Madam Chair, is identical to HB 284 from Delegate Fagans, which reported from this committee by a vote of 20-0 and the House 97-0. There was a substitute which matches the substitute for HB 284 that the Senate adopted, so the bills are identical again. The subcommittee recommends reporting with substitute by a vote of 9-0, and I so move.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded that we report with the substitute Senate Bill 371. Any questions from any member of the committee? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to open the roll. We could vote. And the clerk shall close the roll. Senate Bill 371 reports with substitute 21-0. Chair Sullivan.
Madam Chair, next is SB 448 from Senator Bagby. 448 increases the targets for energy storage capacity that Appalachian Power and Dominion Energy are required to petition the SCC for approval to construct, acquire, procure, and extends the time frame by which such capacity must be met. Under the bill, APCO shall petition the Commission for approval to construct, acquire, or procure at least 780 megawatts of short-duration energy storage by 2040 and 520 megawatts of long-duration energy storage by 2045. With respect to Dominion, it shall petition the Commission for approval to construct, acquire, or procure at least 16,000 megawatts of short-duration energy by 2045 and 4,000 megawatts of long-duration storage capacity by 2045. The bill defines long-duration energy storage and short-duration energy storage. It requires the Commission to conduct a technology demonstration program for long-duration storage resources and initiate a proceeding to determine if such technology is viable and that the targets in the bill are reasonably achievable, for which a final order shall be entered no later than March 1 of 2031. Certain provisions of the bill are only effective upon such determination by the Commission. The bill also directs the Commission in considering applicable petitions to conduct an evaluation of the proposal requirements and evaluation criteria used by a utility in any solicitation for energy storage project proposals issued to fulfill the requirements of the bill. The bill had passed the Senate 22-17, Madam Chair. It is similar to my HB 895, which this committee reported by a vote of 17-5, reported from appropriations by 17-5, and passed the House 65-32. The substitute matches the substitute for HB 895 adopted in the Senate, so the bills are identical again, or were at the time, and the subcommittee recommends reporting the substitute by a vote of 8-1, and I so move.
Been properly moved and seconded that we report the substitute. Any questions? Any member of the committee? Seeing that there are none, I'll ask the clerk to open the roll. And the clerk shall close the roll. The substitute, Senate Bill 448, reports 15-6. Chair Sullivan.
Madam Chair, next is SB 651 from Senator Perry. It authorizes a qualifying locality to enter into an agreement with an electric utility to place new or proposed underground electric distribution or transmission lines, or to relocate or convert existing overhead electric distribution or transmission lines underground. The bill requires any such agreement to provide that the locality pay to the utility its full additional costs of placing new or proposed electric distribution or transmission lines in the qualifying locality, or relocating and converting that portion of a line located in the county underground rather than overhead, minus the net of relocation credits. The bill also provides that the qualifying locality may impose an additional levy on electric utility customers, which shall not exceed $1 per month on residential customers, shall not exceed $10 per month on non-residential customers, and may be fixed at any amount on non-residential customers that are major commercial energy consumers. And finally, it shall be collected by the utility on behalf of the locality. The bill passed the Senate 22-17. This is a comparable approach to the provisions of HB 1487 from Delegate Singh, which passed the House 62-36, and its cognate SB 827, which passed by a vote of 15-7. The substitute conforms the bill to Delegate sings HB 1487, and the subcommittee recommends reporting that substitute by a vote of 6-3, and I so move.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded that we report with substitute. Any questions? Any member of the committee? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to open the roll so we could cast our votes. And the clerk shall close the roll. Senate Bill 651, reports with substitute 14-7. Chair Sullivan.
Finally, Madam Chair, SB 823 from Senator Bagby authorizes the Board of Contractors to require specific contract provisions and disclosures relating to the sale, lease, or power purchase agreement for a residential solar energy program, or system, excuse me. The bill requires a sale, lease, or power purchase agreement for a residential solar energy system to have a written contract that includes specific provisions related to the solar installation company, system design, and the performance or production guarantees, and information related to invoicing and payments. The bill includes several mandatory disclosures to be included with a sale, lease, or power purchase agreement. The bill also directs the board to adopt regulations and update existing regulations to implement the provisions of the bill by January 1, 2027. The remaining provisions of the bill have a delayed effective date of January 1, 2027. This bill passed the Senate, Madam Chair, by a vote of 39-0. It is similar to HB 1439 from Delegate Shin, which reported from labor from this committee by a vote of 20-0 and passed the House 97-0. The substitute matches the substitute for HB 1439 adopted in the Senate, so the bills are identical. The subcommittee recommends reporting with that substitute by a vote of 9-0, and I so move.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded that we report this Senate Bill 823 with substitute. Questions? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to open the roll for us one more time. And the clerk shall close the roll. Senate Bill 823 reports with substitute 20-1.
Madam Chair, that completes my report.
And that completes all of our docket, all of our assignment. And let me just take this one moment to thank every member of this committee. This has been the heaviest docket that we have ever had. And in the beginning, what was it, 250, is it?
No, not quite that.
Not many.
215.
Felt like it. 215, regardless. It was
91 Senate bills.
and 91 Senate bills. So we have topped every one, and we have done a fantastic job, each member on this committee. And I know that a lot of times we have tight regulations. We've got to do all the work in the subcommittee. And as we said, don't bring to this full committee any amendments, but we did it. We did it, and it was not an easy task to do, because I hate to tell you all no, but you know I will. But I just want to thank each one of you, you. You've done a great job. I believe we have fantastic subcommittee chairs.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
They have done great work. We have Chair Maldonado. She ran a tight ship. And even Chair Lopez, nothing got past him. And God bless Chair Sullivan. He had some of the heaviest bills. These were some difficult bills. We've never seen bills this long before. And he got them all done. We've done a great job. Oh, yes. And we've had the SEC that has shown up. They've taken time to talk with us, offered themselves up, answered questions, and they are always here. Always here, just in case we need a little help. And from time to time we do. So I thank them for being here with us. I want to thank, God knows, DLS staff. My God. You all don't know. Well, some of us know they make us look good. You know, we sit up here with pencil and shake our head and everything, but in the background, they are the ones doing all the work. God bless them all, because we go home. We put our feet up And they are over there hunched over computers trying to get things together for us for the next day. And so we want to thank them all for doing that. And believe it or not, I want to thank all the lobbyists that show up for this. We do appreciate your comments, your thoughts, your opinions. I hear some people mumbling. But we do. We appreciate your showing up. You give us a broad perspective of the bills that's coming before us that we are discussing. You give us something to think about. And no matter what, I thank you for showing up. And the fact that you are always respectful. It's seldom do we have to ring the buzzer on you, but sometimes we do. But when we say a minute or 2 minutes or whatever, you're quite respectful. And we thank you. We appreciate that. And I want you to know that it takes all of us to keep this committee running. And so I thank you. This is our last meeting. Who am I? Oh, of course. I thought you was there. And Randy, I thought they were all DLS staff. Oh, everybody. I want to thank Terry Lynn. He holds me down over here. You ought to know. You know, I think it's all DLS, everybody. But he holds me down over here. And there's not one time that he has not had a very sharp pencil for me. I am one of those people who must have a pencil, and it must be sharp. And he keeps my pencil sharp, and when they get dull, he hands me another sharp pencil. So I want to thank him. Marvy sitting right here beside me, all this, nothing but the brains. And we got Tom Stevens and our resident constitutionalist. We've got Randy over here. Randy, what's your last name?
Right.
Randy Wright. He's always here. He's always right. Randy. Don't let me forget anybody else. And we holding it all. Who else we got?
IT.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for turning off the speakers sometime. When maybe I should have turned it off. And I thank you so much. And I thank you for all the members on this committee, because I know sometimes it's hard for you to sit here without chit-chatting, and you know how I am, because you know I'm a freeze and go. But you get the message. So I thank you. I thank you. I know, I recognize it's kind of hard, and I thank you all for doing that. We could not do this without all of us working together. You could not do it without working together.
Chair, thank you very much.
Oh, you know, you all make it all work. You really do. You make this all work, and I thank you. And I haven't forgotten that we're going to party after this. I just don't know where, okay? Where we thought we were going, we're not going, but we're going to get together because we're going to celebrate. Because this still Tuesday night. This does not happen by accident. It takes all of us working together. Yes. So again, let me just say thank you to everybody. Thank you. Love you all. Bye-bye. We are finished with all the business. Is there a motion that the committee adjourns? See you next year.